In this video, we're going to look at ways we can import and export data with scoutsram. So we first of all look at our risk assessments and pick a risk assessment to view. We have a couple of options along the top. If we want to take a hard copy of this risk assessment along to meetings, we can use the print option to print the risk assessment in the standard Scout Association format. We may also wish to share this risk assessment with other people, and we can do that by clicking the share option. Now here we have a share link. Now if we send this share link to another person, this allows anyone, even if they don't have a scoutsram account, to view a copy of your risk assessment. If there is another group which is also using scoutsram, you can allow them to take a copy of this risk assessment by sending them this share code. So if you receive a share code from another group, you can import that risk assessment into your scoutsram account by going to the Risk Assessments tab and then clicking on Import Risk Assessments and then Import from Share Code. As soon as you click Import, it will bring a copy of that risk assessment into your account, allowing you to make any changes to this risk assessment and use it for your own purposes. When you import a risk assessment using a share code, it will be imported under your account, and it is important that you double check the risk assessment to make sure it is suitable for your needs. If we want to take a backup of this risk assessment, we can also export it to a CSV or an Excel file. So when you export a risk assessment from scoutsram, it exports in a very specific format. It is important that you follow the same format if you wish to import risk assessments in this fashion. You can use an exported file as a template for creating new risk assessments, which you can then import into scoutsram. It's important that you keep the file headings exactly the same, as scoutsram requires these headings for it to be able to import the file. So to create a new risk assessment, simply change the details, but leave all the headings the same. If you want to import a risk assessment from a file, from Risk Assessments you can click on Import Risk Assessment and click on File. If you are importing a single risk assessment, it can be in a CSV or an Excel file. But if you're importing multiple risk assessments, then it must be in an Excel format only. And select the file which you want to import. And click on Import, and it will import the risk assessment into scoutsram. It's important to note that all risks will be imported as new risks, and they will end up as new risks in your library. If you want to import your entire library of risk assessments, then from the Risk Assessments menu, you can click on Export All Risk Assessments to Excel. You can only export your entire library to an Excel file and not a CSV file. If you want to create a file for importing multiple risk assessments at once, then you simply put each risk assessment on a new worksheet tab in Excel, making sure that each risk assessment is in the correct format. You can then import all these risk assessments in one go to scoutsram. You can also import and export risks from your library. So if you go to the risk library, you get the export library to file and import risks from file. So you can back up your entire library to either a CSV or an Excel file. Again, a risk library file has a very specific format which you need to follow, so you can use an exported file as a template for creating a new file for import. So if you want to import a file to your risk library, you can click on Import Risks from File. Select the file that you want to import. And then click Import. So we can now see that all the imported risks are available in a library for use. And that is how you can import and export data from scoutsram.